to the RationalInvestor.com's Daily Brief. The answer to your question is learn the goddamn process, trade your trading plans, don't take too much risk on any one trade, and just let yourself get rich. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the RationalInvestor.com's Daily Brief. Happy Monday. TGIM and all that, I suppose. This is a bit of a wonky week here. We're finally into the eclipse window. Dun, dun, dun. And oh my goodness. How can you tell the world is turned on its head? The United States isn't blindly, irrevocably condoling? No, what's the word I'm looking for? Anyway, quite shocked to see that. I think probably the first time in its entire history, the United States isn't going to blindly endorse what Israel is doing, and actually at the UN has actually abstained from blocking UN commentary on what's going on there in the Gaza Strip. I thought that's if anything, that is historic. And if I understand correctly, I think Biden's even trying to sneak supplies and stuff in to Gaza and all that. So that in itself is hugely seed changing. Yeah, it must be like a sign of the times. I mean, the things are definitely changing in the world, no doubt about it. And people often said that you probably won't recognize the world by like 2030. Looking back at where we've come from, say from like 2017, 2018, and man, you can see it, just little things, step by step by step by step. That whole old world is being turned on its head. And I couldn't believe it like last night. And actually, I got to say, I'm pretty darn proud of myself. Although it looks like my computer's a little bit stressed here. But we did like a really cool broiler chicken show yesterday where I literally walked you through how to figure out when the next market cycle pivot for Bitcoin is, because it has this very predictable halving fundamental event, which I think is actually pretty rare in this world. And also because it is so mathematical, there might actually be some predictability to this. And I put tweets out and stuff about it, I mean, we just basically showed you exactly where the next cycle pivot peak is. And, that's a good almost 2 years away. So, this is the time to make money. I mean, if you can somehow get your act together, get your skirt together, get your shirt together, and great to see. Look at this tweet, got like over 4,000 views. So, but this is where we are right now. We're like right in here, and we've got a ways to go here. So I'm just over the top impressed with the TRI team. We do have a fairly sizable investment in the crypto space, so we are well positioned. And the good part about it at the same time, too, is we are running the little old lady portfolio as demonstrators of best practices, especially for new people coming into the business, the industry, whatever. And we officially banged out a double here today on this bad boy. I got filled at 23.7. And of course, we were long from like, I think 9 cents or so. This double bottom from way over here. So, I mean, all we're doing is just making money from trading. So when we're done this commentary here today, my big job is going to be sending out tweets demonstrating how we're banging out doubles. Huge move up here further on LTO today. So, and also too, super pleased to see that a lot of TRIers, our community, not only participated at the bottom, and it turns out that I did actually buy another whack of it down here. My accounting this cycle is so screwed using this damn ledger. I can't figure it out. but I actually banged out a really nice win here, better part of $800-900 just on one little poop coin, and of course 5% rule that tells you what kind of portfolio we're working with here just now on the little old lady account. So I was quite pleased to see that. Super, super happy. So is actually a pretty sizable win. I could go and actually, I could go and hell, I could go and afford to actually eat at McDonald's. Woo! It was fucked up world. Anyway, oh look at Akash is getting ready to go here too. This AKT, damn it. Actually, I guess it's already gone. I remember Fjord was uber bullish about this thing too. Anyway, I mean, where do we want to begin today? There's so much happening. Obviously, all of you are super excited to see that Bitcoin didn't puke out here. And really, I might argue that all we have is nothing more than just a big trading range here. And I think I even said yesterday, this number here, very suspicious. 73,794. Like, why on earth would that be the top? Keep in mind, these jerks, when they put these tops in here, like, look at this number, 69,000 even. Do you think it's a coincidence that that was the top? Or, like in this particular cycle, I mean, how blatant? Who's driving the bus here? The top was 19,666. Oh, Jesus. Actually, it's funny. I just said Jesus right afterward. He's like, don't get me involved in this, you stupid capitalists. You guys are all evil. But anyway, that's another conversation for another day. I mean, ironically enough, I'm trying to make a positive difference in this world and try to help everybody out and be demonstrator of best practices. I wonder after I'm done, I'm going to sit there with little baby Jesus and he's going to be like, was that really an effective use of the time that I gave you on this planet? I don't know. Anyway, we'll see. I hope I am making a positive difference in your guys' lives and girls. I was so impressed yesterday in that video, that broiler chickens. I swear, man, that I think that was for the record book, that video I did yesterday. Because I was like, I just showed you exactly how you can predict the exact top of the market. Is anybody interested in this all? Am I doing any value, anything at all? And I was like, maybe I should just give up. And then Cheryl comes out of nowhere and she's like, damn straight, keep going, Brian. And I was like, oh, you just made my day. Thank you, Cheryl. So anyway, I sure hope you guys are getting value out of all this. A little bit of rhetoric here this morning, a little bit of ranty, but I hope you're enjoying the offering. This should be a pretty crazy ass week or two ahead of us. We've got, I think if I'm not mistaken, it's the lunar eclipse today. Where's Cole? Is Cole around here somewhere? So, it must be MIA right now. Matador says was one of the best BCSs. Awesome. It's cool. Anyway, I guess the point that I would just make here is we've been talking about this eclipse window forever. I mean, forever. There was the last eclipse last October, that eclipse window, and you can see how Bitcoin was doing nothing, 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 and then kaboom. Believe it or not, actually, I wouldn't even be surprised if we just simply just go sideways here. Kind of like what you saw through this consolidation. Wouldn't surprise me one bit. They'll go up and they'll wash the tops here. See if they can flush out any weekend shorts that have their stops just at new highs. I wouldn't be surprised in this particular case. They tried to come down and wash the lows, and they just couldn't bust the market through those lows. So I really wouldn't be surprised, and that's why I have these numbers on here. I think very comfortably top of the market here, 73,794. And like I said, that number, that seems awfully suspicious. I wouldn't be surprised if we have to hit this big fat round number, 75 grand, before this is all said and done. And then 60,760, that also seems a bit suspicious too. You can see where 13 EMA is. I wouldn't be surprised if we come back down, play against these two tails here, and come and tag this this SMA. or excuse me, EMA. And just, this is what markets do. It's what they like to do. In fact, I think actually there was a crude oil top that I was playing here just a few minutes ago. Yeah, same sort of thing. See how there's like this tail right here after this red candle. And what do? They bring the market down. They play with that tail through the 13 EMA. And this is just off like a 5-minute chart. And you can see back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I actually just closed out this short because I didn't want to be distracted while I was doing this video here with you guys. Um, so, I think probably the most important message that we can possibly give first thing Monday morning is this is going to be a really screwy week. We also, of course, have an Easter holiday weekend coming up at the end of the week. And what a surprise. I mean, it's almost cliche the way that this is all playing out because this is going to be really screwy in here. And oh, what a big surprise. Friday is actually going to be a holiday. I'm not quite sure how Easter Monday, Tuesday. I know in Europe they're like super, especially the Roman Catholic Church and stuff. They're super uber crazy about Easter holiday weekend. I've often noticed in my personal past that Bitcoin and crypto doesn't really do very well following this Easter weekend. So as we had sort of said, this is the opening of this window, this eclipse window. And if I understand correctly, and I'm not exactly positive, I might have this wrong, but if I understand correctly, the solar eclipse is like next week. And what's really weird about this week is Friday's a holiday, and yet we have some hugely important inflation numbers, personal consumption, expenditure, all that kind of stuff, all coming out here through a holiday weekend. So this is going to be an absolute shit show. And I wouldn't even be surprised if this weekend is really screwy. And then, of course, April 1st, and how ironic. In my country, the little communist dictator bastard is going to jam through a massive tax increase that all Canadians, of course, are looking forward to. It's gonna affect our food supply. It's gonna affect our energy markets. It's gonna affect all the supply chain. So what a wonderful gift this dickhead is giving us here. Point here is it's all through this window. I wouldn't even be surprised. I put out tweets here recently. Um, you know, there's actually reports going around my country right now where the police, like the sort of like the American equivalent would be like the FBI. In Canada, they call it the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. Have actually put reports out saying that if Canadians actually realized how bad the situation really was, they would expect actually a revolution. That's how bad it is in China. And the worst part about it is most Canadians, because they're so polite and they're so agreeable and they just do what they're told and they pay taxes out the ass. I think we've got one of the highest tax societies in the entire planet. And that's even on top of like communist China and Russia and all that shit. But the sad part about it is us poor Canadians, we're kind of just, bury our head in the sand and let, just, oh, well, what can you do? Which is really sad. But anyway, maybe that's the way we all get through this without dying. Speaking of dying, my God, you want a really, really ugly reality of communist dictatorships and how bad can get? Do yourself a favor and just go watch this guy's video on the situation in China right now. It's gotten to the point now where the citizens, the actual Chinese people, are so powerless, they're so impotent, they've been so castrated that their only recourse is to go out on mass murder rampages where they literally have videos. And this guy, he had to like edit a lot of it out or YouTube just wouldn't play the video. But you could clearly see like people like driving cars at like 50 miles an hour through huge crowds of people, just murdering people right, left, and center. And the CCP is completely censoring at everything. Like they have like police on loudspeakers saying, delete all videos from your cell phones or you will be suicided yourself kind of idea. I mean, and this is why you cannot invest in a communist dictatorship, any dictatorship, communist, fascist, whatever you call it. And I'm so saddened by how the Western world was suckered in by these goddamn CCP bastards. But I got to tell you, man, do yourself a favor just so that you realize how bad the situation is, because it's bad over there. It is really bad. It's shocking how bad it is. It's murder season in China. There you go. Bang. All right. So let's sort of lead off. Wait, just wind this up with sort of what's going on in the world. I've often told you guys, good idea to sort of just keep an eye on Japan. It's probably going to give you sort of a directional bias for sort of the Western world. Down a good chunk, a good 1% on the day. I also think Japan's like leading the world economy right now. I've shown you Toyota Motor Company. I mean, God, can't believe I missed such an incredible investment opportunity there. But anyway, it is what it is. So not really a big surprise. The U.S. market is heavy. I'd also say too, clearly the U.S. market is going to be dominated and sort of the U.S. conversation is going to be dominated by the fact that Boeing, I mean, like literally, they just, hey, it's murder season in corporate America too. I mean, they actually literally murdered a guy who was going, or he suicided himself. Oh yeah, right. He was going to testify against Boeing, and all of a sudden he mysteriously committed suicide. Sure, yeah. Anyway, you can see it's taken its toll. The CEO of the company is stepping down. And frankly speaking, I don't think Boeing's troubles are done by a long shot. This is going to drag on forever. Interesting too, we've got SBF being sentenced this week, so that'll definitely have some fireworks in the crypto space. Interesting to see how that plays out. And if the sentencing is really, really light, is this an example of political cronyism? If it's really, really heavy, are all the crypto people going to cry foul at the way that the 1% is shitting on the space? I mean, either way, it's a no-win situation. Interesting to see nothing has changed with regard to the money printing and the hyperinflation of our society. It's just business as usual, these old fuddy-duddy politicians. So I don't see any reason why any of the trends that have been established over the past few years with regard to hyperinflation and stuff, I don't think any of that's going to change anytime soon. And then, as I said, the one thing that actually caught my attention here this morning, this is unprecedented. So a precedent has been set, and you can see instantly Israel has said, like, what the fuck? We own you, political politicians. What the hell are you doing? So instantly, Israel's going to be all up in arms. Having said that, like I said, they've set an interesting precedent here. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out going forward. And then I suppose the only thing that really caught my attention here today was Mr. Trump here. He's still got to pony up a big chunk of money. I don't know. I suppose maybe backers and stuff can help him raise that money. But he might actually get a little bit of a reprieve because, $500 million to come up with that settlement. That was maybe a little bit much. Also, too, something that did jump out at me, it looks like the trend towards governments going after these big corporations and stuff for monopolistic practices. Actually, yeah, I think we're going to see a little bit more traction out of that going forward as well. So you can kind of see there are 3 or 4 different sort of things that are starting to sort of set the stage for, maybe we're going to have a little bit of back and forth in this society. Obviously we're going to have some issues with the Middle East. When do we don't? Corporations are going to be held a little bit more accountable for their behavior. Mr. Trump ain't going away anytime soon. And I don't think anybody who actually betted that Mr. Trump was going to go away. Yeah, right. And it's just business as usual in Canada. Who cares about China now? It doesn't really matter that much in the big scheme of things. So, there's your backdrop. And of course, like I said, we've got big inflation numbers coming out at the end of the week, but we've got big religious holidays here. I can very easily see this is going to be a really, really choppy session. And what I have said, and I said this in the Broiler Chicken show yesterday, I'm going to just reiterate it because I think it's basically the same message. I actually think that the stock market, today's a bit of a head fake day. It is the first eclipse. They're going to make the market look like it's topping out and breaking, but I actually don't think so. I think the market actually pushes to new highs. Like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if Bitcoin's up at 75,000. I think the ES has to come up and tag this 2.618, probably on like a really weak PCE number on Friday or something. And next week we have some sort of orgy that pushes up to these ABCD 2.618 events. And then the eclipse, the actual solar eclipse, I think that's actually your catalyst that we actually start seeing the establishment of what the other side of this market's going to look like. So, I mean, if anything, we've come an awful long way. Probably would be healthy for the market to consolidate a little bit. I mean, if it's not a cashes, I mean, look at that. How can you come in and justifiably invest your hard-earned money there? That's crazy. I can actually, and I will be tweeting out and publicly announcing, banging out doubles. How can you come in and who are these people that are coming in and buying this right here? That's crazy. And as I've said, I will be selling and spoon feeding my coins into your buy orders. I don't think it's in your best interest to go and spend your hard-earned money here. I think you're asking for trouble. But anyway, it's Brian's opinion. Everybody's got an opinion. And that's the one good part about our society is, be thankful that we actually even have these public platforms like YouTube and stuff that we can even express our opinion. Because there's big chunks of the world that you can't. And in fact, if you do, you're going to end up unalived. So maybe we should all just take a moment and just be thankful that we have the shit show that we're living in our Western society. Because it's a hell of a lot better than this shit. And please, God, please, baby Jesus, whoever, Muhammad, please don't make us go down this road. These motherfuckers. It's terrible what's going on in parts of this world. And how do we get our society and our civilization to the point where this isn't commonplace? I'm so disappointed in us humans. But anyway, PMA for the win. Be thankful that we live in this Western society and that we have the freedoms that we have. And the fact that I have the ability to go, all right, let's bang out some more doubles, you motherfuckers. And have yourselves a great rest of your day. All the best, and bye.